Siena is a small Italian city in Tuscany, one of the nation's most visited tourist attractions and famous for its food, art, museum, cityscape, and the Palazzo Pubblico in the Duomo. This podcast will particularly be about the Palazzo Pubblico, which is a town hall, and the Duomo, the cathedral. The city of Siena is a small, beautiful city about 1 hour and 17 minutes from Florence and 2 hours and 41 minutes from Rome. The Palazzo Pubblico near within the center of the city, which began construction in 1297 to serve the seat of the Republic of Siena's government. The structure consists of Italian medieval architecture with Gothic influences. The upper is made of brick, while the lower part of stone. The facade is curved slightly inward to reflect the outward curve of Piazza del Campo, which is Siena's central square, placing the palace in the focal point. The tower was designed to be taller than the tower in neighboring rival Florence. At the time, it was also the tallest structure in Italy. The clock was fitted in the 14th century, and the design was used for many other complements elsewhere, including in England. The Palazzo Pubblico holds the government's part of the city. The allegory of the good government carries a strong social message of the value of the stable republican government of Siena. It contains elements of secular life with references to the importance of religion. This is depicted on paintings along with art that shows the efforts of good government and the effects of bad government, with depicts of a recognizable view of Siena. The Black Death of 1348 did away with half of its population. The Republican's economy was destroyed and quickly declined from its position of prominence in Italy. It did not develop during the Renaissance as other cities did, but this allowed the preservation of the city during World War II and modern development. I will now talk about the Duomo of Siena. Duomo di Siena is Siena's cathedral and medieval church as a Roman Catholic Marian church dedicated to the Assumption of Mary, which is the bodily taking of Virgin Mary into the heaven and earth in her earthly life. Here the cathedral church teaches that Virgin Mary, having completed the course of her earthly life, was assumed body and soul into heavenly glory. Going back to the Duomo, it was completed between 1215 and 1263. The Duomo di Siena has a form of Latin cross with a slightly projecting transept, a dome, and a bell tower. The dome is of a hexagonal shape and supporting columns. The lantern was added later. The exterior, even the interior, is consisted of white and green black marble in alternating stripes. With addition to the red marble on the facade, the black-white are the symbolic colors of Siena linked to black and white horses of the legendary city founders. Before the construction of the Duomo, there was a 9th century church with Bishop's Palace in 1196. The construction of the new cathedral was the work starting with the north and south and plans to add a larger body of the cathedral later. But this never happened. By 1215, there were already daily masses in the new church. Some additions, such as the carved wooden core stalls, were replaced but have now disappeared. The copper spear on the top dome does remain. The other additions of the main body were planned in 1339, which will have doubled the size of the structure by an entire new nave and aisles. The construction was halted by the Black Death in 1348. The work was never resumed. The unfinished nave became a parking lot and museum. The facade of the Siena Duomo is one of the most fascinating in all of Italy and certainly one of the most impressive features in Siena. Each side has its own distinct work, the west being the main entryway to the Duomo, showing beautiful Siena's workmanship, which combines elements of French Gothic, Tuscany Romanistic architecture, and classical architecture. The nave has been raised multiple times, most likely to incorporate a more elaborate design since it has been passed down through many designs throughout its construction. Because of this, there is imbalanced areas that have been adjusted in each side with opening windows to reduce the weight they needed to support. From the interior, the black and white marble stripes on the walls and columns strikes the eye. Black and white are the colors of the civic coat of arms of Siena. The naves are sculpted in allegory animals and it contains 172 plaster busts of popes. The vaulted roof had blue and golden stars, and the glass is stained dating back to the 1200s through the 1500s. I will leave you with one of the most attractive events of the year, the Palazzo de Siena, which is a horse race held in July 2nd and August 16th, where 10 horses and riders dressed in different colors represent the 10 of the 17 city wards regions within the city. That race has 3 laps around the piazza that usually last no more than 90 seconds. Today, it is tradition for the Sienese community to attend the Pilar twice a year, with a rare third Pilar run every so often to celebrate certain important events. One thing, the horses are all mixed breed, and no pure breed horses are allowed. The race is held in the Piazza di Campo, located in the open part of Siena, around the Palazzo Pubblico. If one is expected to witness the race, spectators must arrive early in the morning, which eventually gets filled up all around the sides and in the center. At 7:30 p.m., an explosive car echoes across the piazza, signaling that the race is about to begin. 3 laps are expected to be ran, and believe it or not, the riders are allowed to whip to disturb the other horses. The race can only be won if its rider is on top, and the loser of the race is the racer in second place. The loser is not the last racer. There is great happiness about a victory. It is so extreme that the celebration can last for a month, and occasionally there are outbreaks of violence between rival conglomerates. So to recap, we talked about the Palazzo Pubblico, the town hall, and the Duomo, the cathedral. This is some of the characteristics of Siena which make it a wonderful place to visit.